Hello my fellow degenerates, my name is Billy and welcome to the AVN channel's review of S-Bots. No, that's not its full name. I can't say its full name due to YouTube, but hopefully you get the idea. S-Bot is a time-traveling sci-fi visual novel developed by Llamaman Games and is available on Steam. I also want to mention that I did receive this game for free for the review, but we have integrity here, so we'll still get an honest review. The whole story revolves around the MC, a nerdy kid trying to get a date for homecoming. Oh yeah, and his acquisition of an S-Bot from Amazon? Once you finally get a date and go to homecoming, a particular event occurs and you are forced to travel back in time using your S-Bot and back to the beginning of the game. And you do it all again, but you choose a different girl this time. Eventually, you do have the opportunity to progress that end scene once certain criteria are met, but this is really where the story falters for me. I played through the time loop several times to get every girl's route, and by the time I did, I was bored. I got about 16 hours in this game and about 13 to 14 hours at just the first homecoming loop with different girls. The issue is, the story each time is almost the same, so when you get through the first few girls, you have it on constant fast forward because you've already seen most of the scenes. And the game still lasted me 15 to 16 hours, I skipped most of it. After this though, things happen. I won't tell you much due to spoilers, but it really picks up and gets interesting. It was actually reminiscent of some Terminator and I was down for this. However, this section only lasts an hour or two. It's the most interesting part and it's just brushed over compared to the repetitive homecoming loop. If you were just to go the main required routes of the game, it would be significantly shorter and may not drag as much. But the extra content is meant to be there for the game's benefit, but the best way to explain it, it's Groundhog Day. Just repeating the same thing over and over with slightly different variations, but you already know what's coming. Speaking of coming, the story trips over itself in its timelines as well. You'll go one route with a girl, losing your V to her. Then the next route, you can call the girls back from the previous route, despite having no interaction with them this time around. And there'll be mention of you not being a virgin, but you still might be in this timeline. But overall, I feel the story had great potential, but it falls flat due to its repetitive nature. Apparently, they are making a season 2, and I really hope they focus on the Terminator style situation going on, simply because that's when I really started enjoying the game and really got interested in it. But that was far too late in the game, and it was for only a short period of time as well. Okay, so there are a few characters, not too many, but even less relevant ones. Even the side girls whose routes you can go on don't really have any relevance for the rest of the game. So I'll discuss the main characters and then just introduce the other girls. So the MC, a nerdy kid, and I mean nerdy. Not your typical AVN nerdy but cool kid, just straight up absolute virgin nerd. And what a relief it was when I first started the game. I thought it would be kinda refreshing. You're not playing this really attractive guy that every woman throws themselves at, but this nerdy kid who just wants to pop his cherry.
And that was a nice happy hardcore pop my cherry.
It'd be good to see an AVN from a different aspect for once, and I like him. It's more of a comedic game and the MC fits this role. The next character I want to mention is Alexa, your S-Bot. She has the most personality among the other characters, which is funny because she's a friggin' robot. It's her task to help you find a date for homecoming, and eventually it seems that she's gone from being obliged to help her owner to actually wanting to help her friend. And funnily enough, the next character I want to mention is Melvin. Yes, this isn't a love interest, thank God. Instead, this is the MC's best friend. But the reason why I mention him so early in the list is because of his relevance to the plot. He's kinda like the MC in personality, just more deprived and sinister. Emily is your landlady. Yes, it's one of them. She has absolutely no impulse control since how quick she falls into sleeping with her tenant. Yeah, her tenant. The only thing that really stands out are her assets. Sam's your sister, roommate. Yeah, your roommate. Again, personality wise, there's not too much, just it's about the appearance. And that's the case for the rest of the list, just appearance and no substance or personality. Just stereotypes that don't go beyond that at all. Bailey, she's your childhood friend who had a crush on you. Ashley, your typical hot popular bitch. Daphne, the sexy nerdy gamer e-girl type. Steph, that's your other friend's sister. Steve, that's your other friend. Miko, that's your best friend Melvin's mum, the innocent but deprived, desperate housewife. And Mia, your best friend's sister. And therein lies the problem with the characters in the game. There is very little to these characters. It feels like they've simply been added just to add more lewd scenes. This game wouldn't lose much other than just padding if half of them were just removed. When I realised that this game features time travel, I thought it would come with some in-depth mechanics, but sadly I was mistaken. Now don't get me wrong here, these mechanics do go deeper than your average A to B AVN, and that's good. Each main character has what's called a Zeta score. This goes up each time you go to homecoming with said character, and then each pass through their route is slightly different each time. There's also a corruption score for them and a lesbian score for your landlady. But I didn't check these routes out because I'd already gone through all the other girls and I was just getting bored of it by then. Finally, this is less of a mechanic per se, but let's say it's a route planner. Each run you do, you can click on your phone and choose a girl that you want to get, and the game essentially gives you a walkthrough for them. And believe me, I'm not usually the type that wants a walkthrough for a game, but because there are so many loops to go through, this was kind of essential, so as not to waste even more of my time trying to figure out how to get a particular route, I definitely made use of this. The visuals are okay. The renders can be a mixed bag, some look good and some look questionable in quality at least. Either way, none of them really stand out and none of them are really bad either. It's just your average renders. As for animations, most non-lewd animations tend just to be a panning shot of a girl, so not really an animation, just a moving still image. But one thing I don't like is the style of the characters. They all have this really gaunt looking face and over exaggerated body parts. They're really skinny but then really big at the same time, and it just doesn't look right. I'm really not a fan of this. It's mainly the faces, they seem very S-doll like, ironically. However, the UI is just your standard looking UI. It's easy to read and it's nicely formatted with avatars that help discern the speaker. Now, I'm always on the fence with avatars in the text box and I'm not sure whether I like them or not, but they're not too bad for this game, so I'll give it a plus here. Audio, again, is nothing amazing. It's mainly just music and little to no sound effects. And it's not a huge library of music either, so it gets really repetitive. Now, I'm a big fan of using audio, especially music, to help elicit emotion. But this game never tried that. But saying that, there were no moments that really require any emotional depth to them anyway, so it's not like the audio could be used in that purpose either way. Now, this is clearly where the main focus of the game went. I mean, damn it, it's in the namesake. Every other scene is a lewd scene. I mean, you're probably just seeing the same repeat scenes over and over again on this review, because either the scenes repeat so many times in the game, and if they're not repeating scenes, then they're lewd scenes that I can't put on YouTube. But there are so many of them that it seems like it's more quantity over quality. They mainly consist of short looping animations, but there is a significant amount of them and a large variety with several different girls. It's obvious that the lewd was put first in this game and the rest was put on a back burner, but even with that, it's not like the lewd is stand out or anything amazing. So if you have played this one, then it's obvious who the best girl's gonna be. Alexa. Well, of course, she's the game's namesake, the main girl in the game. She's your date, your wingman, and will do anything you ask of her. She is the only character that actually got any real focus put on her beyond just the lewd, despite her also being the main focus of the lewd. So, it's not really a choice this time. So overall, the game started with good potential, and as soon as I saw the time travel stuff, I was excited for it. Until I realised it just became a lewd version of Groundhog Day. It's repetitive and struggled to keep my attention, and finally when the story picked up and got more interesting, it only lasted for about an hour or two of a 15 to 16 hour game. Now, it does mention at the end there is a season 2 coming, and if it goes hard on the Terminator / time travel stuff, I'm in. But if it's just going to be another excuse for lewd, I'd rather just stick to the hub.